Good morning, everybody. Are you excited for today? I am. We get to color today. We're going to do some 2-point perspective today. It's going to be a lot of fun. And thank you guys for joining me. I know it's not always easy to get up early for a drawing class, but I thank you guys for coming, and I appreciate it. Let's start by taking a nice deep breath in through our nose and out. Let's do one more just for kicks today. Okay, we're gonna take a deep breath in, hold it. Back straight. Hi guys, let's see who's here in the comments. I see Mateo and Camilla, Ariella's here, Catherine is here, Mateo and Noah, Isabella's here, Zoe, maybe Nadia, hopefully you're here, Nadia. Who else? Galaxy Master 5987. And who else? Danilo and Camilla. Blaine is here. Cool. And I think more people are coming on the way. Thank you guys for joining us today. This is Morning Cartooning with Teacher Noah. I'm Teacher Noah, and I'm excited to learn about landscape coloring today. Landscape is what you can see when you look outside, and fortunately, that's something that we still can do, and so hopefully this will give us a nice opportunity to go outside and observe some of the nature. All right, let's get started. So our morning game plan for today, and if you look at the top of the screen, we have our quote of the day, then we're going to do art review, where we're going to look at other people's art that was submitted from last episode. Then we're going to do 2-point perspective. Then we're going to take our karate break and learn some new moves today. And soon I'm going to be able to teach you guys how to do an actual combat form, which is like a series of movements, which will be a lot of fun too. Then we're also going to do color gradients, and then we're going to do a challenge of the day. And then we're also going to do our mail of the morning, which will be a lot of fun. All right, cool. So, and then I'm going to give you guys your challenge, yeah. So let's get started. Our quote of the day is where we're going to start, and this is Bill Watterson. Now, Bill Watterson, you probably don't recognize him by his picture, but he actually has a very popular comic strip called Calvin and Hobbes. So if you've seen that, that was the artist who did it. There's only a couple pictures of him because he was a very private artist. He liked his art being about his art and not any kind of like celebrity or anything like that. So his quote today was, if people sat outside and looked at the stars each night, I'll bet they'd live a lot differently. And I like this quote for today because I feel like that's one of the things that we can appreciate right now is sitting outside, just observing the sky, the trees, the sun, the branches, the grass, and the wind, and just being able to sit in that and relax a little bit more and breathe. I think with this new opportunity to stay home a little bit more and to get to enjoy nature a little bit more, hopefully this will bring people a little bit back to earth and a little bit more of a centered spot. So we're not always trying to work, and be busy. So we're going to try to appreciate some of nature today in our drawings, and then hopefully you guys will be inspired to look at some nature at the end of today. So our art review for this week, we have some good drawings. Let's look at them. We got Mateo. I loved your drawings, even the ones that you did as doodles and not the actual assignment. I always doodled in my math book in school, and I think that helped me a lot as an artist. So, and so I liked your Homer Simpson and Bart. Let's see, you got a ghost and an elephant, and then it looks like you drew Darth Maul. Is that who it is? Let me know if that's Darth Maul. That's who it looks like you used as your stick figure, which I love. Let's see. Zoe, wow. I loved how you did your own action lines and you added them and you created completely new characters. So if you guys check that one out, Zoe's is this one right here. Let's see if I can show, oops, here we go. There we go. This is Zoe's right here. And she did a ballerina, and she did, it looks almost like a superhero, somebody jumping up into like off of a diving board. And then we have this guy right here, who looks like he's doing a back bend. I love that. And these were the original action lines that she used them for. So if you could see, it goes like this, and this one does the same thing. Really great job. Cool. Oh, you guys like to watch the moon? Oh, that's a good one. We're looking at the moon and the stars too. Hi, Leah, Mateus. Let's see. Oh, the puppy, yes. So the puppy was Isabella. This was actually from our previous episode, but she submitted it to me after last week's episode, or last time's episode. And so this little puppy is from our 1 point perspective, I believe. And so you can see the vanishing, this would be where the vanishing point was, down here, and makes it look like the puppy's like flying out into space. I love that you colored it, Isabella. It looks really cool. Darth Maul, gotcha. And then let's see, Zoe also did some action lines. She drew Tintin too, which I love. It looks great. And then Cohen, you crushed it this time. This is really cool. I love how with just adding the action line to your drawing, you can get such a good flow of the movement into your character that you can tell who the character is, even with just with a quick sketch like that. So really cool. Nice job, guys. Round of applause to everybody who did it. Type in some clapping emojis if you guys want to give each other a round of applause in the comments below. Let's see what else we got. So if you guys want to submit your own art, you can. Just send it to my email at noahfontana@gmail.com, and I'll add it to next episode's class, which will be tomorrow. So send it in quickly so I can have it in for tomorrow. Also, you can send it to me via Instagram, and you can see that at the bottom. There's @teachernoah, teacher.noah, and then there's also @CTN Burbank, where you can see all the new stuff that they're doing there. So like last night, they had a CTN Sketch Fever, which is where they have a live model, and you guys can draw that model and practice practice drawing. I think yesterday, Matt, it was costume. It was a cowgirl, or was that a different day?
That was a different day.
Okay, what was the costume for last night? Do you remember?
It was a cat girl.
A cat girl. Okay, gotcha. Because everybody knows how good Cats is doing. All right, so we're going to move on to our lesson for today, because this one is going to take us a hot minute. We're going to do 2 point perspective. And so what we're going to learn how to do is we're going to draw some houses, some trees, and a street, and like a front lawn. So everybody pull out your sketchbooks. And here we go. Okay, I'm going to need to open this one up again. Voila, awesome. Okay. Cool. When do we do, Maya, what is that, illusions? If you're talking about illustrations, that's what we're gonna do right now though. Let me know what exactly you were talking about there. Okay. So, let's see. Oh, nice claps, guys. I appreciate that. That's good. You guys did such a great job. I'm very impressed. Okay, so if you have a ruler ready, a ruler will come in really handy right now. So definitely use a ruler for drawing these straight lines, okay? If you don't have a ruler, you can use a piece of paper, and you can just fold it in half, and then you can follow along the side, the edge of the piece of paper, and with your pencil like that. I'm using a tablet, so what I can draw is I'm going to connect it and make it a straight line this way. So watch, even if I do it like that, if I hold it steady, it connects it into a straight line. So we're going to start our drawing like this. We're going to draw, this is a straight line, and if you've taken the 1 point perspective episode class, you'll remember this as the horizon line. So I'm going to write that right here. And then this time we're going to do 2 point perspective. Right? All right, here we go. So we're going to do our 2 points. Let's do them right here and here. How's that look? Hey, Naomi, glad to see you joining. That's awesome. Awesome, cool. Sorry, if I'm looking this way and not exactly at the camera, it's just because that's where my comments are. So when I'm looking that way, that means I'm reading your comments. All right, so here we are. We have our horizon line. We have our 2 vanishing points. I'm going to write that down there too. There we go. That's what I'm trying to do. Cool. All right. Vanishing points. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to start by drawing a straight line down in between those 2 points, just like that. We're going to make sure it's completely straight down. So we want it like this. If it looks like this, that's too diagonal. So we're going to keep it straight up and down. Optical illusions. Oh. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'm going to add that into the list. We should definitely do some optical illusions. Cool. I will let you know when I have them in the roster for the classes what we're going to do. I think we already have all of next week's figured out, so it might be the week after that. All right, now what we're going to do is pretty simple. We're just going to connect these 2 ends to these 2 circles. Okay, so watch what I do here. Go. Just like that. Oops. And one more. All right. Now, already, if you can kind of see it, this already looks like it's going into the distance and it's like a huge block. So what we're going to do is we're going to break this up so that we can make it into a house like this. So we're just going to do a straight line down. There we go. We're going to do one more straight line down the other side like this. Cool. All right. Optical illusions are really cool. You should check out MC Escher. We can do a whole lesson on him. How about that? Okay. Here we go. Okay, so now to create some windows or like a roof even, let's draw one more straight line from this vanishing point like this. Now the key is to make sure it connects to the vanishing point here. If it goes up like that, it's not going to look like it's in perspective. So we want to do it right here. And from here, we can just draw a straight line up and then a straight line down. Connect those 2 corners. Now, this part you're going to want to adjust as you see. Let's see. We want it to go right. I think that looks good right there. Cool. Now, because we're going with so many diagonals here, it's going to take a little bit of tweaking. Here we go. That looks a little bit better like that. Okay, now we're going to add in a door, some windows, then we're going to add some trees and all this other good stuff. So here we go. So let's see. We can add a door. Now a door, the sides are just going to go straight up and down. So they're not going to be diagonal like this. They're just going to be straight up and down. But the top of the door, this is the part that's going to lead down to the horizon line like this. Now, if the door is going to be that tall, that's totally fine. Let's see. And we can do it like that. But if the door is going to be higher, you'd want to angle the top like this, because it's got to come from the horizon line. So all we're doing is we're drawing a bunch of lines from this horizon line. So even if we're going to do windows like this, windows can come up from this line, like so. And then we're just drawing straight lines up and down. And that way, even the windows look like they're going farther into the distance. Yes, definitely used, yes, thanks Creative Talent Network. That's MC Escher for those optical illusions. And yes, using a ruler is the way to go for this kind of thing. Because right now, all we're drawing is just straight lines. And that's a lot easier to do with a ruler. Cool, there we go. So now we got a little house. And if it's getting a little too confusing for you guys, we can erase some of it too. We can go like this. And erase the lines that we don't need. There we go. And now we got a house. Now what's cool is that you can even add houses next to it pretty simply. So I'm going to undo my erases just so you guys can see. We're going to draw another straight line down. Like that, and one more next to it. Make sure these are all straight lines. Now if you want all the houses to look similar, all you have to do is just follow along the same line. So this line right here that I'm highlighting, that's the top of the roof for the that's the top of the door. And so I'm just going to follow this line all the way straight down to right here. And that's going to be where I'm going to put the door on this side. There we go. And we can do the same thing for the roofs. Watch this. All right, and you can just keep on making houses as much as you want. Now, the houses, the sides of the houses, the front of the house should be a little bit smaller as you go farther down. So that means that the width of this right here, this size, is not going to be the same as this, and not the same as this. You see how those get smaller and smaller? Cool. Oh, the roof on the third building? Oh, yeah. Okay. All right, here, let's do the roof again. Now, the roof, what we're going to do is we're just going to add the lines up so that they meet on this line that's going up and down like that. We're going to make those, the points of the roof, the two sides of the roof, point and end up right there. And then this side, the actual back line of the roof, this line would actually lead all the way down to this, like that. So that's where I got those lines for that top of the roof. And then these front parts, I'm going to leave it up to you because at that angle, if it's exactly right centered above it, you can have it right through the center of that. That's where you'd want it, like this. So you do that for each of them. So if you go up the center, there's that roof, and this line would go all the way down. I know I kind of was like explaining it not great verbally, but I hope the visual part of it was able to help you. Let me know if you're still confused and we can go over it a little bit more. Also, in the meantime, let's do something easier. We can do, I'm going to erase this word vanishing point because we're going to draw right here. So using a rule, this is pretty simple. We're going to create like a sidewalk. Here we go. And then we can even create a street by going like this. Watch this. And then all you have to do is erase parts of this to make it those straight lines. You see? It looks like it's going into the distance. All right. Let me know, Danilo, how you're doing. Leslie. Yes. Leslie, if you can get a ruler, or if you don't have a ruler, you can even use the side of another pencil, if you have two pencils, and you can draw along, and you can hold this here and draw along with your other pencil. Or you can use a piece of paper. So even if you don't have a ruler, you should still be able to figure out to have a way to draw straight lines. Now we're also going to draw, let's draw the sidewalk on the other side of the street, like this. And right now I'm just drawing straight lines from this vanishing point. So if you look, right, all these lines just can line up with the vanishing point. So this is just one line that's going around the whole vanishing point. So let's say, let's see, so this is the sidewalk. So this is the grassiness right here. And I'm going to show you guys how to draw like the grass and the clouds and everything to make this picture look a little bit more nice and landscapey, so it's not just all technical drawings. We're going to add color at the second half of this class. But for right now, let's draw some trees. We go up, and we're just going to do simple shape trees, and then later we're going to, oops, there we go. Later we're going to actually draw in the leaves and all that stuff. So right now our trees are going to look really simple. They're going to look like this, that, and that. And afterwards, after the karate, we're going to learn how to add some leaves in the bark and the trees and make them look a little bit nicer. So let's say we draw a circle right here. We draw the tree straight down, like that. Now that we drew the first one and we kind of got the size right, we're going to draw another line. Here we go, hold on. Okay. Also, if it makes you feel any better, I'm choosing to show you guys pretty difficult concepts just because I want you guys to learn and grow as artists. I don't want you to just be doing crafts that you've already done before or crafts that don't actually teach you how to create. They just teach you how to make a specific craft. So that's why I teach you guys things like this. But they are more difficult concepts. And perspective is definitely not one of the easier concepts. So if you're struggling with this one, remember that this is not something that is going to come naturally or easy. This takes a lot of practice. And I myself have gone to school for it and have been practicing it for over 20 years. So if I make it look easy, it's just because I practiced it a lot. But you guys can become good at practicing it too. Okay. You may have said, but what program? Oh, I'm using a program called Procreate, and you can get it on your iPhone or on your Apple tablet. And I think it's only like $12 or something like that. It's pretty versatile. Okay. Yes. Okay. Let's see. Danilo, let me know again too if you're still confused about the roof tutorial. I could always go back and add that in. Let's see. So here's our first tree. We're going to add another circle, but we're going to keep it within these lines. So here's the one line and here's the other line. And we're going to keep the tree right in the center of this part right here, like the tree part. So we're going to draw this line like this. And if you look, it looks like the trees are going back into the distance. And let's see if we can make it look even more like that by erasing some of this. Here we go. All right. Cool. And Right now, the reason I'm only using simple shapes is because we're going to add in those details later, so don't even worry that even if these trees don't look exactly like trees, we're just trying to get the perspective right for right now. So if it looks, now you can see that it looks like the trees are going back into the distance, and they just because we followed the same line up. All right, let's see. I think I'm good. Okay, cool. We could always go back and circle this and do a refresher course later in 2-point perspective. But for right now, let's stop with what we're doing here, and we're going to switch on to our next segment. Now, we're going to keep these pieces, so don't throw them out. We're going to color them in just a minute. But for right now, let's switch to, we're going to do our karate. Now, all the things in just like the regular lettering, that's what we've learned already. So today we're going to do some more stretches. We're going to do jumping jacks. We're going to learn how to do a hammer fist, and then we're going to do down block, and then we're going to play some sensei says. Okay, so let's go and do that. Come on. All right. I got my karate belt. Here we go. Now, if this is your first time watching, this is the belt that I earned when I was going to karate in Jersey. I trained from the ages of 7 to into my 20s, and I got to a 2nd degree black belt, which is, you can see right here, this is the 2 degrees. So each time I passed the test for the next degree black belt, I would get another one. So if I was to get a 3rd degree black belt called Sandan, I would get another white stripe right there. All right, cool. All right, so shake out your arms. Here we go. Relax. Okay, we're gonna shake out our arms, do some wrist stretches. Now this is especially helpful if because we want to make sure your hands are healthy and we take good care of them. So this one, all you do is you take your wrist, put your thumb on right before your knuckles. We're going to twist it outwards, and you're going to slowly press down and bring it inwards like that. Okay, be really careful because you can hurt your hands like this, but if you do it the right way, it can give you a good stretch, and then that'll help you relax. And you can do the same thing with this hand. Just stretch it like that. Good. Now, we're going to do this other stretch where you grab your fingers like so, and then you stretch them out like this. You elongate your arm. You stretch it out. Here we go. There you go. And that'll stretch out all the tendons and all the muscles in your forearm that might be getting cramped up now if you've been drawing a lot, which we have been. All right. We're going to do one more stretch with the arms. We're going to cross your arm and pull it in tight, hug it in tight to you. There you go, like that. Now stretch out your shoulders. I'm going to stretch this arm one more time like that. All right. Okay. Now, if you're in a space where you have a lot of room and you can move around a little bit, we're going to do some jumping jacks. We're going to do 20 jumping jacks just to get our blood pumping so that we're ready to do our blocks and our punches. Okay, ready? Here we go. So for a jumping jack, we're going to stand in the kyosuke like this. So kyosuke, ready stance. And we're going to jump up, clap our hands together. That's one. We're going to those 1, 2s. Ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Don't forget to breathe. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Whew! All right, good. Now that your blood is pumping a little bit, let's go into our horse riding stance. Here we go. Whew. Okay. Now, I'm going to teach you a new block. This is called down block. So just like rising block, cross block, and middle block, we're going to make a fist like this, okay? And we're going to make a fist, and we're going to punch down at the ground, kind of like that. So we're going to block down. We're going to try to like slide whatever's there. Whatever's coming up, we're going to try to slide it away like that, okay? So we're going to go block straight down. Here we go, ready? Each, ni, san, chi. All right, how did that feel? Feel good? Now I want you to make sure you start here, but when you go across, you bring it up and down. So you got to go across your whole body. If you just go straight down, you're going to miss this whole area that you would want to be protecting. So we're going to go across your whole body like that. Okay? Almost like the hands of a clock spinning around the clock. Here we go. Ready? And each, ni, san, chi, go, roku, sichi, hachi, ku, ju. Good. Now, it's a good habit, and I know you guys are watching me right now as we do it, But after you get the movement down and you're pretty comfortable with it, make sure you always look to where you block. If you're blocking like this and you're not looking, you could be blocking all over like that and not know anything that's coming after you. So I want to make sure you always look to wherever you're blocking like that. Okay. And we're going to review the other blocks. So let's try a quick version of Sensei Says. I'm just going to call out the random blocks and we're going to see if we can follow. Okay. Rising block, middle block, cross block, down block, rising block, middle block, cross block, down block, middle block, cross block, rising block, down block, middle block, cross block, rising block, down block, middle block, cross block. Are you guys able to follow along? All right, let's move to our punches. So we're going to go back to a kielsuke, ready stance. So this is ready stance is shoulder distance apart. Good. So right now we already know straight punch, we know spear hand, we know heel palm, and now we're going to do hammer fist like this. So hammer fist, you make a fist. Now with a fist, you want to make sure that your thumbs are on the outside, not on the inside. That's going to hurt your knuckles, okay, and your thumbs. Thumbs on the outside, and we're going to hit it right here with the side of your hand, okay? So if you have your hand open, it's going to be this side right here, okay? We're going to go straight down from our ears. This one, we're not going to come from this position. We're going to have our hands up like that, okay? So we're going to hold our hands, and all you're going to do is bang almost like your hand is a hammer, and that's why it's called hammer fist. You're going to do it right in front of your nose. Here we go, ready? Ich, ni, san, chi, go, ruku. Now an important tip to remember is that you want to snap it right back. Okay, you don't want to linger your hand there. If you leave your punch out or if you leave your hand there, somebody can grab your hand and you don't want them to do that. So it's a good practice to remember to snap it right back or punch and bring it back like that. Here we go, ready? Ich, ni, san, chi, go, ruku, sichi, hachi, ku, ju. All right, go back to kielsuke. Good, ready stance. Now, I just wanted to remind you guys, this is all for just an exercise practice and a self-discipline on learning how to control our bodies and learning how to strengthen our muscles and stretch our body, stretch our arms and legs. This isn't for a use to bully anybody or to physically attack anybody like that. I don't want any of you guys getting into any fights. This is just for our own self-discipline so that when we walk around, we feel like we can control ourselves and can control our actions a little bit more and that we have a little bit more energy to do so. Because if we just sit around drawing all day, we're going to get a little lethargic and tired. So it's good to move around and everything, and this is just to help us move around and learn how to exercise in a healthy way. Okay, let's go back to our, actually before we go back to and play Sensei Says, we're going to stay in the ready stance, and I'm going to do a speed round of all the different attacks that we learned today. Okay, here we go. Straight punch, spear hand, heel palm, hammer fist, spear hand, heel palm, straight punch, spear hand, heel palm, hammer fist, heel palm, spear hand, straight punch. I'm confusing myself now. Okay, let's play some Sensei Says. Jump into your horse riding stance. Now remember, sit down really low, okay? If it's hurting your legs and your legs are burning, that's good. That means you're using your muscles right here. It's going to be these muscles right here that you're going to feel. So you want to pretend almost like you're sitting down on a horse, just like that on a horse. Okay, here we go. Speed round, Sensei Says, let's go. Now, just like Simon says, if I don't say Sensei Says, you don't got to do it, okay? And here we go. Take a deep breath in, out, and straight punch, rising block, down block, middle block, spear hand. I didn't say Sensei Says for all of those. I forgot all of those. Let's try this again. Ready? Here we go. Sensei Says spear hand. Sensei Says spear hand. Sensei Says heel palm. Sensei Says heel palm. Sensei Says down block. Sensei Says middle block. Cross block. Did I get you? Okay. Sensei Says rising block. Sensei Says cross block. Sensei Says middle block. Sensei Says down block. Sensei Says heel palm. Sensei Says hammer fist. Sensei Says hammer fist. Sensei Says spear hand. All right, let's play one more round, and I'm going to go for a long time so that it's going to get really fast. Okay. Sensei Says straight punch. Sensei Says straight punch. Sensei Says hammer fist. Sensei says heel palm. Sensei says down block. Sensei says middle block. Sensei says cross block. Sensei says rising block. Sensei says spear hand. Sensei says heel palm. Sensei says hammer fist. Sensei says straight punch. Sensei says spear hand. Sensei says hammer fist. Sensei says down block. Sensei says middle block. Sensei says cross block. Sensei says down block. Sensei says cross block. Sensei says middle block. Sensei says rising block. Sensei says heel palm. Heel palm. All right, if I got you, now it's time to sit down. I'm going to take off my belt. We're going to hang it back up, and then we're going to go and try out the new thing at the Disney desk, which I want to show you guys. But first, I'm going to show you the slide. Okay, here we go. Oops. Voila. Cool. Let's go. All right, now is a good time to take a deep breath. Breathe, drink some water. Cheers. All right. Okay, how you guys doing in the comments? Lillian, hi Lillian. All right, I hope you guys had a good time doing karate. Yeah, if you don't use Procreate and if you don't have like an Apple product, Sketchbook, Autodesk Sketchbook is really good too. It can do a lot of the same things. Whew. All right. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is going to be coloring and gradients. So we're going to move on to our table over there, but grab your sketches that you did and grab some coloring tools. So if you have colored pencils, if you have markers, crayons, anything like that, we're going to learn how to blend those colors a little bit together, do some gradients. We're going to do clouds, sun, sky, trees, grass, and some shadows too. All right, are we ready to go? Cool. All right, I'll see you guys in a second. All right. Hi guys, how are you doing? Here we are. This is our Disney desk. This is the one that, if you saw my Instagram live video earlier this morning, this is the desk that they use in the studio to make the animated movies that you guys watch as movies. Now, here I have our drawing. This one I did on paper. It's a similar thing. So we have our trees, we have our houses, we have a sun I added in, some clouds, and a sidewalk. I'm going to show you guys how to color these things in so that you can get a nice little gradient. Okay, now to start off, it's always a good idea. I'm going to use Copic Markers to start, but I also have some colored pencils too that we can use, but I think I'm feeling like using markers today. So we're going to start by doing the sun. Now, the reason I'm picking the sun is because it's always good to start with the lighter colors, because you would always cover lighter colors with darker colors, but it's hard to color light colors over a dark color. All right, here we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to just create lines down towards the sun, but we're not going to actually touch the sphere of the sun. Now, these lines, if you still have your ruler, you can see I put a little dot right here. And all these lines should go out from the dot, so like this. Ready? So if you kind of pinpoint down, all these lines you can draw right around the sun. So if you go like this, you go. That way they're all pointing inside the sun. Now if you want to sketch them in pencil first and then draw the lines with your color, you can also do that too. That's what I did. There we go. Now if you want, I think I'm still going to outline the sun like this. Cool. Okay. Now let's do the clouds in the sky. All right. Now, what I like doing is I like making it like a gradient. And a gradient is when you have one color that changes into another color as you go up and down. So we're going to have a gradient that's going to go from the bottom to the top, and it's going to go from like a purple to a light blue to a dark blue. And it's going to give it kind of like a sunrise effect. All right, so let's see. Now, Be careful that you don't draw over any of your houses or your trees or your clouds. We're going to leave all those blank for right now. So let's see. There we go. I'm going to stop it right around here, because what we're going to do is we're going to have the colors overlap, okay? But I'm also going to finish in the other side, just so we keep it all consistent. And Matt, if you could let me know if we have any questions in the comments, that way I can answer, since I can't see them right now. All right. Cool. Now I'm going to switch to a blue. Let me see if this is the right blue that I want. It's always good to have an extra page on the side where you can test out your colors. I think this might be the darker blue. Let's see. Oh, okay. These are called Copic Markers. They're really good for blending colors. They give a nice kind of effect. Okay, and let me see. I'm going to show you guys them up close in a second. I don't know if you could see that. They say Copic Markers. Cool. Okay. So now the color that I'm using right now is BG02, color blue. Yeah, let's try them out. Okay, now if you're using colored pencils, you can do the same thing. You can still kind of shade them in and overlap them as you color. I'm using markers just to change it up because I feel like we've done a lot of like colored pencil like drawings. So if you look, when you color over them, the lighter I press down, the more you can see on top. The more you can see through the purple underneath. We're going to do a couple layers. They even have special Copic markers that are made specifically for helping you shade these colors in. I'm not using them right now, but they look white and they look like they don't have any color. And that's because you use them to blend other colors together, which is kind of cool. There we go. And if you see too, they come out really dark when you draw at first, but then they dry a little bit lighter, which is also kind of nice. Okay, now I'm using a darker one. This is BG57. It's a darker blue called Jasper Blue. This first one was called New Blue, and I'm going to use one last blue called Light Blue. We're actually going to use that one, the last one, because it's even darker than these guys. Very nice. So again, this is what we're creating right now is called a gradient, and we see gradients a lot in nature. Usually colors, even on leaves, when you see like the leaves change in the fall, they're not just one flat color. They're usually a mixture. Even when it's not the fall, leaves look kind of like they're a mix between green and yellow and maybe a little bit of brown too in them. So if you add gradients to your drawing, it can give it a nice kind of natural looking effect. And that's great for drawing, for painting or like coloring in landscapes. Okay, and our last one right here, this is called Light Blue. It's B14. Here we go. You see how it looks a lot darker actually? Very nice. I'm excited to see how you guys, how all of your drawings look. Definitely send them to me so I can check them out and we can share them next week. And I think I want to go over this purple area just one more time, just to really get this gradient nice. You can even blend it a little bit higher too. Throw in a couple purples up here, because why not? Good question. All right. For something like the sky where I'm trying to get more even lines, I'm going to use the chisel, because if I use the brush, here I'm going to show you for an example right here. If I use the brush, it kind of comes off at a point, and so if I'm trying to fill in a space with color, it's kind of hard because then you have to keep on being mindful where the point ends and where it doesn't. If I'm just doing squares, it's easy to just go like this and know exactly how to fill in the space, you see? So we're actually going to use the point part right now though to do the trees. Okay. Let's see. Now I'm going to try to use this green called moss. Let's see. And then I'm also going to use this one called ocean green. And again, if you're perfect, okay. If you're coloring with colored pencils, you can do the same thing. I would have like a light green colored pencil and a dark green colored pencil, and you could do the same exact thing. You can even do it with crayons too. All right. So for the trees, let's see. I'm going to use this one's called moss. It's YG67, and I'm going to use the pointed brush now. We're going to fill it in. This time I'm going to add some leaves on the side. Also, right now we're not trying to get the full texture. We're just going to try to keep the shape. Because right now we're just going to fill in the color, right, like this. If you want, you can kind of give it some swooshes and swirls to make it look a little bit more leafy. And that'll look nice in comparison to like the lines that we did for the sky. We do a couple. I love Bill Watterson, the guy who drew Calvin Hobbes, who I showed you guys earlier today. He always added like these little leaves around the sides that were kind of like floating off the tree, but it gave the illusion of leaves, which I really liked. So I'm going to do that a little bit too. And remember, in nature, things are very messy, things don't always look very neat and stuff. So if your drawing is looking messy and it's looking kind of all over the place, that's good, because that's how kind of like trees grow. Now we're going to do some simple shading. So if you took my shading, if you watched the shading video, you can know how to shade underneath. So if the sun is coming from right here, comment. We're going to look in the comments where you think the shadows should be on the trees in general, as if a shadow was a sphere. Okay. Now while I do that, while you guys comment in the comments where you think the shadows should be, I'm going to color in the tree bark for right now. Let me see. And we're going to do the same thing for the tree bark too. So we're going to start with a lighter brown color, and then we're going to go to a darker brown with the shadows. But let me know in the comments where you think the shadows should go. If they should go on the right side, the left side, if they should go on the bottom or the top of the tree. And now this is where we could also add in some detail with the tree. So I'm going to add in some branches that are kind of like going up like this. See, like that? All right. Any comments yet about where we should put the shadows? Or is everybody just drawing? What was that? No comments yet? Okay. Let me know, guys. Should we put the shadows for this tree right here? Should we put the shadows here, like here, or here? Let me know. And also on the bark, should we do it on this side or this side if the sun is right there? Let me know. And in the meantime, let's just color in something easy. We're going to color in the sidewalk. This is just going to be a gray color. This gray looks like it might be running out a little bit. Let's try this gray. Much better, much better.
Someone says bottom left.
Bottom left. Interesting. Bottom right. Uh-oh. What do you guys think? Bottom left or bottom right? Maybe tell me in the description, in the comments, why you think bottom left or why you think bottom right.
Kylie says on the back.
On the back of the tree. All right, where would the back of the tree, Kylie, be? So let's say this is, we could say this is top, bottom, left side. Or right side, but you don't see the right side, so we do the right side of this tree in the middle. So top, bottom, left, right. And I'm ready when you guys are. I'm gonna let you guys keep on commenting while we color in the houses. Okay, so this one I'm gonna again use the chisel brush because we're almost gonna try to create an effect that looks like paneling on the side of the house like this. What marker pack? This I think is an actual, since we did like a project, or the gallery did a project with Copic, we got a whole kit. So here, look at this. We have 3 different kits. We have this kit right here, this kit, which is like blues, and then we also have this kit. Now, I know these markers are expensive, so I wouldn't even recommend probably getting a whole kit like that. If you're just starting out, I would get a couple that you think look cool, and you could try them out. And what's cool about Copic Markers is that when you go to an art store like Blick, they actually let you try out the markers there in most stores. So you could try out whatever ones you think are cool, and you can mess around with them, practice with them, and then you could even buy refill packs. So you can, which are a lot less expensive than the actual marker itself. So if you buy the marker and you really like the color, you could just buy a refill pack, which is not too bad price-wise. The bottom left?
Bottom right.
Oh, the bottom right. Okay. Bottom right is correct. I'm going to explain that in a second. Here we go. Let's just finish drawing this right here. Okay. Now, we're going to add some color. So I have a darker green. This is ocean green color. So if the sun is coming from this direction right here and it's shining down, it's going to hit this side first. So that means the opposite side should be the side with the darker colors. So we're going to add in some coloring. Now the trick with shadows is to not overdo it. Like, you just want to give just the illusion in a few spots. We're going to feather it out almost, or leaf it out. I'm going to make up a new term. We're going to leaf it out like this. And we're going to get kind of almost like a stippling effect that we learned. This stippling is like a way to shade where you're drawing dots, but instead of dots, we're going to make them leaves. Like that. And let's do it for this tree. So we're going to curl up under the bottom and on the right side a little bit. There we go. Cool. And now it looks like the trees are getting some sunlight. Now if you want, even with some colored pencils, let's try it out. I don't know how this is even going to work, but we can try it. I'm going to take the same yellow that we used. I'm going to try to see if we can highlight a little bit of the leaves up here and see if we can get a nice little like kind of golden glow on the trees. It looks kind of cool. I like it. Also, actually, Matt, how are we doing on time? 5 to 11? All right, awesome, cool. We're gonna do one more thing, which is perfect timing. Now for the houses, again, I'm gonna let you guys try to comment, but while you guys comment, I'm gonna go for it and color it. Here we go. Let's see. So we're going to darken the sides of the house. And what sides of the house should we darken? That's the question. Let's see. And actually, by darkening it, instead of using a different color like we did with the tree, I'm going to darken it using the same color. I'm just going to go over it again. And you can do that with a colored pencil, where the harder you press, the darker it gets. Now, if the sun is coming from behind, both of these sides can be dark, and then it would be the side that we don't see, that would be light. But just to give us the effect, we're going to color this left side right here, like this. And if you notice, even the ways that I'm shading this right now, I'm going along the lines as if it was coming from the vanishing point. So like this. So these were the coloring lines. I follow these lines like that. And that just gives it a little extra feeling that it's coming out towards you. You see, like that. If you want, you can even do a little shadow underneath the ledges. All right, and final touch, let's add just a little bit of a light yellow in the sun, because right now I'm looking at it and it looks a little bit too white right there. So we're going to do a nice light color. We're going to fill it in a little bit more, so it's less white, but still not quite as dark as that original yellow that we used. And while we're at it, let's add a little bit of glow to the clouds too. And the clouds, kind of like the opposite of a shadow, it's going to be a highlight. We're going to just give a little highlight to the clouds to make them look like they're getting shined on by the sun. So whatever side is closest to the sun, that's the side that we're going to give it a little bit of yellow to, like so. Nice. There we go. Now it's, and what's interesting is that when you draw the sun itself isn't the part that makes the sun look so bright, but it's how everything around the sun reacts to it. So when you draw the shadows on the trees, or if you draw the highlights on the clouds and the shadows on the house itself, that's what makes the sun look like it's beaming and bright, is because you're seeing how its light is affecting everything around it. We're going to go back to our couch seat, and I'm going to see you guys in a second. All right. Hi. Welcome again. Let's check it out. Let's see in the comments. Cool. Behind the trees. Nice. Oh yeah, Copic Markers are great. You can refill them. It's really cool. Bottom right. Yep. Cool. Now, I'd love to see what you guys are doing. So I'd also love to give you guys a challenge of the day. Challenge of the day is find something outside that inspires you and make a color drawing of it. And I'm trying to think of something that you can use the techniques that we learned today. So try to do something that you can do a gradient or a color, different kind of colors using it, maybe some perspective in it too. If you want, you can check out my other video, which is about 1-point perspective. That's a little bit easier to draw sometimes. So, but you could also add color to that picture too. And before we head off, we have our mail of the morning. So let's check it out. We got a letter, Teacher Noah. Here we go, let's see who it's from. Dear Teacher Noah, and I got my letter right here, okay? I couldn't tune in on Tuesday's class. Today, during our free time, me and my mom and little brother watched yesterday's class. We had fun drawing stick figures. Here's a picture from Kevin L. Thank you, Kevin. And Kevin brings up a good point too. If you can't tune in one day, you could always watch them on the channel too, and you could see all the ones that we've done so far, and you can join in on the fun. You can even comment suggestions or follow along like that too. So Kevin, let's look at your picture. I see you drew Tintin, you drew the whole stick figure and everything. And I don't know who this guy is right here, but I like it. Very cool. Awesome. Thanks for sharing, Kevin. I really appreciate it, and thank you for tuning in after, even though you couldn't make it when we were going live. If you guys have any questions, email help@ctnexpo.com, or if you think of any topics or suggestions on what you'd like to draw, or you want to send me your drawings, send that to noahfontana@gmail.com, and I'm going to feature you guys in the next episode. And that's it for today. Our next episode is going to be tomorrow morning, 10 a.m., and we're going to learn how to do some painting and cutouts. So I'm going to bring my watercolors. We're going to do some watercolor painting, and then we're going to do some cutout versions, kind of like Matisse. So I'm excited to do that. Bring your scissors, maybe even some glue too if you have it, and watercolors too. And if you don't have watercolors, totally okay, but you'll still be able to do the cutout part. But yeah, it'll be fun if you have some watercolors and you can try them out. I can show you some techniques. All right, bye guys. I'll see you tomorrow morning.